Well, another day, another rot buggy adventure. So today we've got rot buggy number 3, the Cam 6.2 on the lift. We're going to be putting a little bit of an exhaust on this thing. So you guys heard it was super loud. Basically doesn't have an exhaust on it right now. So picked up the finest quality eBay Y-pipe catalytic converter assembly for this thing. Check this out. Look at that unit right there. Nice little split for easy installation. A little clamper do go right there once we get that sucker installed and bolted onto the headers. Gorgeous piece there. Let me tell you what, best $150 you could spend. How good are those? Who knows? Better than what's on here. I saw someone in the comments said, is this a side-by-side channel or is this a rusty truck channel? Simple answer is, it's whatever I want it to be. Rich rules, baby! So, we're going to undo the mega cobblage we got under here. I'll show you guys in case this is your first time seeing this truck. Well, we've got this little extendo piece there. You guys saw that. That's garbage. O2 sensor working basically not at all because of that. And we got some flex pipe over here. That stuff's trash. Got a clamp there, cobble hanger there. I'm gonna have to do something about a hanger setup because all this is going away and I'm gonna have this part right here. There used to be a hanger there. Well, that's kind of a hanger. I don't know why it's all bent. They've got that self-tappered in. It's not super good, so we'll have to do some figuring out for that. But first things first, get all this junk out of the way and get ready to put that new stuff on. All right, guys, I've got the driver's side little extendo piece off. That was kind of a pain. One of the bolts broke. No big deal, though. This is, oh my gosh, it gets worse the deeper you look at it. So, no surprise, this hanger didn't really hold. It just pulled right out. Because it turns out when you self-tapper into, well, super thin sheet metal, she ain't going to hold. So, that's junk. But we're making some progress here. I think, just try and undo those 3 bolts up there that are on the header, and I don't really want to mess with this flex pipe. If I touch this flex pipe, it's going to be with a cut-off wheel, this stuff. It's just junk, so we'll see how she goes. Well, you see those 2 things right there? And then if we take a look in here, you see how those 2 things are... Well, hang on, let me get some light going here first. This light, next level, guys. You see how they're like not down in there? Well, guys, turns out the whole picture is starting to come together. The story has developed into its entirety. So, went to put in our new eBay Y-pipe with catalytic converters. And, you know, wasn't really lining up to the flanges on those shorty headers. So that's kind of weird. Thought maybe my eBay exhaust was, you know, incorrect. And I got kind of, you know, doing a little bit of research, and turns out the headers that were on that truck are just universal LS swap headers. They're not even for 07 to 13 Silverado. So it's kind of unfortunate. Had to take them off. Putting stock manifolds on the truck. So that's unfortunately the cheapest way. We're going to be able to get a full exhaust on this thing, putting stock manifolds on it. There's not really a huge gain from going to a shorty header compared to a stock manifolds. If we were putting, you know, if we had the option to do long tubes, that would be ideal. It's way more money, and I don't want to stick that kind of money into a truck that I'm just trying to sell. So, not doing that. I'm going to run to the auto parts store, get some new stock manifolds for this, throw them on, and then we'll start working our way back. Sometimes, you know, you start in the middle, and then you got to work forward to go backwards. It's very weird. All right, breaking news. Deal of the day. So one of my dad's friends, turns out he had some stock manifolds laying around, and it turns out he was kind of interested in some shorty universal headers for an LS. So did a little swap. Check these units out. Yeah, look at these things. They even got the heat shields on them still. Beauties. So I did a very rough cleanup on the sealing surfaces of these things. Had to get a new stud kit because this was missing a stud. And then we also got new nuts to go on the studs. So these are about ready to go on. I already cleaned up the head on that side. Got to clean up the head on that side, the passenger side. And then we'll get these things thrown on and should be back in business here pretty soon. Well, I've never been so happy to see factory exhaust manifolds on the truck. We're one step closer to the Rot Boogie 3 being roadworthy. Now it's time to lift this thing back up and see if this eBay Y-pipe is actually gonna fit. Place your bets below right now. Well guys, if you would have told me that this exhaust on this truck was gonna fit as good as it is, I'd lost big money on this bet. Take a look at this. And I'd be showing you some of the, you know, install, but it's really pretty basic, and the lighting's super bad underneath there. It's just not great, but I'll talk about how it went together once we get underneath the truck. Yeah, the lighting's kind of falling apart, but we're underneath here, and the exhaust fits honestly really good. Clearance in places that clearance needs to be. O2 placement pretty good. I'll secure these wires for the O2 sensor on this side once we get everything finished up, but clearance is honestly pretty good. Same thing over here, tightened up nice. Now, you might notice this piece of exhaust laying on the ground. That was definitely built around flex pipe, I feel, so I had to take that off. We're gonna probably hack this up a little bit and make it work with this flange, get the pipe straightened out, because right now either we have the exhaust facing this way. When you tighten it up on the flange, it sends it into the drive shaft, or when you flip it around, it sends it into the frame over there. So not ideal either way, but let's fire this thing up with an open Y pipe, see how this thing sounds. I do need to put the included clamp right here. Maybe I'll just put a couple beads of weld on it just to hold that in place, make it easy to disassemble. You could just cut the weld. I don't know, we'll see how I'm feeling. I'm gonna have to get the welder out anyways to fix this junk exhaust. Maybe I'll put a different muffler on it, I don't know. Don't really want to spend that money, but this thing is, I mean, blown out on the inside. It's just a straight through deal. I don't know whose muffler it is, but maybe I got a 3-inch muffler laying around here. I have to do some scavenger hunting, we'll see. I just forgot I got all the spark plugs and wires off of this and the dipstick for the engine, so I'm gonna put that stuff in first and then we'll fire it up. Plugs and wires are all wrapped up on this thing. You can't see in there. Who cares? Let's fire this thing up. So we're gonna fire this up, lift it up in the air, see if there's any major leaks, see how this thing sounds. Check for leaks. No leaks around the mating surfaces to the manifold, to the Y-pipe. It's sounding great. I'm super happy with that, to be honest. That's awesome. I did stick this cobble pipe up there just to see how that muffler kind of changed the tone. Definite change. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll use that muffler. Muffler's kind of junk though. I'll probably just make something work with this pipe, but I think that's a project for tomorrow. I'm going to change the oil in this now that it's kind of up to temp. Then go to bed. We'll be back here tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Got a minimal amount of sleep. Came up with a little bit of plan on what we're going to do for the rest of the exhaust. So going to change it up a little bit, I think. And I'll show you this cobbled pipe that was on there up close. And just kind of, well, we're going to see what we can do with it. couple pieces of it at least, and then maybe run to the auto parts store, see what we can do for a muffler. It's gonna be a good day. Working on junk. Love it. So here's the junk piece that came off of it. And like I said, no matter what way we had this end of the flange oriented on the Y-pipe, it was either gonna send it into the frame or into the drive shaft. So there's some bends that are, well, not good here. And, you know, outside of this, you can't really pick up a bend on video, but this pipe's a little cocked right here. And then, you know, obviously the longer you go or the further you go down the exhaust, it just kind of magnifies or multiplies that. So I'm going to cut the exhaust right here, and that's going to eliminate all this junk back here. I'm going to size this pipe up on the truck and see how it looks. I've got some 3-inch pipe. We can probably utilize some of that, and I'll probably just go get a universal muffler for this thing. I got this hanger over here. It's like, I like this hook style. This integrates into an exhaust clamp, which I don't really like, so I might just weld this to the pipe itself, or maybe I'll use a clamp. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna get this cut first, and then we'll size it up on the truck. My dad got these glasses when he had some shots put in his eye, I think. They look like Oakley's, but they're not. No big deal. All right, underneath the truck, I got a little fixture set up here. This isn't going to be the absolute best job, but this is a budget build. And we're working with what we got, which includes not a pipe bender. So I found this piece of 3-inch exhaust pipe here. And it's sitting, you know, pretty level. So I'm thinking, I was hoping I was going to be able to utilize a factory hanger, but I'm not. So I think what I'm going to end up having to do is use like one of these strap hangers, which I'm not a super huge fan of. There were a couple of these that were, just look at those, self-tappered in, like right there, self-tapper. So I think I'll drill this and put a bolt through it with a nut, and that'll be super secure there. And yeah, I'm gonna put a couple tacks on this, and then we'll be able to take that off, finish weld that up, and put it back up here. I'll have to go get a muffler and a hanger. Be pretty much all set. Okay, got a couple tacks on it. I'm gonna pull this down and weld it up, I think. I'm pretty happy with that. We got a serious gap to fill on this thing, so wish me luck. This isn't the best welding setup I probably could have came up with, but that's what it is. This is good for sure. It's honestly filling in pretty decent. Started off not so great, but I mean, it's gonna be good enough for this truck. I ain't a welder, guys, but I'd like to learn how to get better. If you guys got any good resources for welding tips and stuff, be happy to check them out. We're gonna be Rot Buggy approved though, for sure. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. I mean, not good, but not bad. Yeah, welding on cardboard probably isn't the smartest, but that's just the way it is. I think I'll post this on one of those pro welding pages and see what people think. But you know what? For this rock buggy, and me not welding very often, I'll take it. That should be solid. So let's throw this thing back up in there, and then let's just start the truck up. Could be my inner 15-year-old, but I just like hearing exhaust, you know? Like, the exhaust will change so much just from having this little, I shouldn't say little, 4-foot extra piece on there compared to having just the open Y pipe. So, I don't know, I just want to hear it. So, I'm going to bolt this thing in, take a look at it, and start it up. Oh, yeah. A little climb. Get your steps in. Fire this unit up. Tell you need a hanger for sure. Look how much that's moving. Sounds good though. So pretty happy with how this thing's sounding. Borderline doesn't even need a muffler, but I'm gonna want to quiet it down a little bit, I think. I was looking at this hanger situation though, so that factory style like clamp hanger, I'll just show you it, but it's not going to work in the way I thought it was, but it's going to be able to, I think, work in a different way. That's going to be pretty decent as well. So take a look at this. So I got it in here like this. I think if we bring it over there and then just weld it there, that should be pretty good. And then we can also add one up there if need be. I'm going to obviously clean up this pipe a little bit, guys. But yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good, honestly. I'm going to weld it up and see how it does. Okay, also just realized that the gas was off when I was trying to weld that on. So that explains why it looks like, well, something that rhymes with gas, but it is what it is. It ain't falling off yet. Maybe I'll go over it again. I don't know. If not, I'll do a little grinding. Maybe both. All right, just got back from the auto parts store and McDonald's. Big fan of that. Found a muffler for a good deal. It's not really the exact one I was hoping for. It was a good deal. So I'm going to try and make it work. Let's see if it'll fit on there. All right, well, this doesn't happen very often, but turns out this is like perfect orientation for this. So if you see back here, we've got ample clearance to run our additional hanger, even though this one, only those welds, it's honestly pretty decent. I did put some weld on this part to kind of build it up, but we're going to put another one on just to really strengthen this up. And I'll see if I can find a piece of 3-inch, like a turn down type deal, so it's not just shooting at the shock. But man, honestly, great fit. Let's go fire this thing up, see what it sounds like. So it's chambered muffler. Some people don't like chambered mufflers on the LS stuff, but I don't know. See what it sounds like. Wow. Super impressed. That muffler was like 40-some bucks. Seems like a great deal to me. So let's listen to it a little bit more. You can tell it does move a lot less even with that single hanger there. Still want to put another one up there, but that made a good difference. Don't look at those welds, guys. I'm telling you, have the gas off. Oh yeah, let's listen to this thing. Oh hell yeah. Clean. Finish weld this thing up, get that hanger in, and we'll be done. Well, guys, here's the finished product. Again, we're not going to focus too closely on weld quality on this, but there it is. We got our muffler. We got a couple hangers. Check this out. I'm happy with this. Ain't going nowhere. That's nice there. That's nice. Might as well let this thing down and take it for a little drive. Well, she's on the ground. She sounds good. She's pretty quiet, honestly. Big change. Let's get this thing outside, see how it sounds. Well, it's the next day. I got the 6.2 truck pulled out last night, drove around a little bit. I think it sounds great. We're going to do a little cold start on it right now, and you guys tell me what you think. I think it sounds pretty good. Yeah, so this truck's super nice. Remote start even works on it. Good sounding unit. Inside the truck there's a little bit of drone. I'll show you guys that, but you're gonna get that with a chambered muffler and it being dumped underneath the bed. But overall, guys, this is a great unit. One of you guys should buy this. $7 grand. Think about that. It's like I said, great unit. And you know, it's not the prettiest truck, but it's a good unit. So don't debate it being a good unit, because it's a good unit. And if you do debate it, we're going to have a debate on it being a good unit, and I'm going to win. So just buy the truck, and so we don't have to do that. Let's go for a little drive. Just hear that 6.2. This thing sounds good. It's not overly loud, but, you know, you can tell it's got a little something in it. But tomorrow I'm going to be changing that rear leaf spring in this. I got new front struts to put on it. Those came with the truck. Maybe brakes. It came with front brakes. It's just going to be a nice unit when it's done. I'll probably clean out the interior. Saw some beef jerky pieces laying on the floor. I don't think anyone's going to want those, but I'll save them in case one of you buyers do. It's a good truck. I really need to get rid of this thing because I'm starting to like it. So please, someone buy it, please. All right, hear that 1-2? Oh yeah, just smoke those Dynapros. All right, let's see how this thing does. Sounds decent. Truck. All right, let's eat this thing a little bit. Baby. Sounds good though. Well, the exhaust project on this thing for me was actually pretty fun, so not super mad that I had to do that. Do a little welding, do a little mufflering. It's a good time. So someone buy this thing before I fall in love with it. I'm on my way there, so you guys message me, pick this thing up. A couple days. It's gonna have new spring on. It's gonna be cleaned out. It's gonna be a nice unit. I'll even save those old beef jerky pieces for one of you guys. So appreciate your guys' support in this matter, and we'll see you in a couple days.